Hi guys, welcome to another video, what's inside my bag, or my studio more accurately, because, excuse me, this is not fitting in the bag. On this video we're going to have a look at the studio lights. So these are studio heads, monoblocks, you can get pack-in heads, but studio lights, they need mains power to run, so they live inside the studio, and that studio could be a purpose-built studio, a rented space, a room at home, a basement, a garage, whatever. It's four walls and a ceiling. Okay, so let's have a look at this kit. Now, in the studio I have at the moment a total of 7 lights, which you may think is quite a lot. I do like to keep additional lights on hand. Most of the time I'm working with 3. A lot of the time I'm working with 1 light as well. But it's nice to have redundancy for when I do shoot with 3, 4, maybe 5 lights, going up to 6 maybe on the odd occasion. I have redundancy, so I have, you know, 1 as a fail-safe essentially, or maybe a couple. Now the lights that I have on set here at the moment, these are the most recent acquisitions bought at the photography show this year, because the price was too good to walk away from. This was after I said I'm not going to buy anything at the show, not going to spend money, not going to spend money. Yeah, anyway, these are the Pixapro Storm 2 400s. Now, these partner up well with the primary light that I use in the studio, which is this one here, the Pixapro Storm 2 600. 600 watt head, these ones here are 400 watt second heads. They're called monoblocks because everything, power supply, flash tube, controls is in the head, or the block if you will itself. It doesn't have a power pack that sits down on the floor. Down there. Now these Storm heads are a fairly recent acquisition, and I bought them really for only 2 reasons. First one is flash duration. The shorter the flash duration on a light, the better. In most situations, it depends if you want to introduce movements into a shot, then it'll work against you. But these are very, very similar to speed lights, not in terms of power output, but in terms of the way they behave and what happens when you lower the power. Speed lights, the lower the power you go, the faster or shorter the flash duration is, and it's the same with these. Conversely, traditional strobes, like this one here, a Lencata Elite Pro 2, also 600 watt second, the fastest flash duration is actually on full power, and the duration gets worse on the lower power settings. Depends on the technology used within the light itself. Now, what these bring to the studio is a very, very short flash duration. For example, on the default setting here, quarter power plus 1/10 of a stop for the white seamless set, it's given me a flash duration of 2,468th of a second. So, what, 2,500th of a second, which, as you'll know, in terms of shutter speed, is pretty quick. You can stop someone walking, you can stop someone running, jumping. Certainly plenty for family sessions in the studio where you might get a kid that may move around a little bit. So they're great for that. Same with the Storm 2 600. Also, they build into the one ecosystem that I'm building for the lighting kit. One trigger system which work on the triggers that we've seen in the other videos, like the XT32 here. So this will make these fire with the built-in receivers. Also the same for the 600 Storm as well. And I can control the power from here. So if we turn that back on, I've only got power in this one at the moment. Boom, I can set it off. I can turn the modeling light on or off, and I can control the groups, individual power, change it in 1/10 of a stop rather than 1/3 of a stop, full stops and all that good stuff. Most of the time with lights you're going to be working in either full power or full stop, sorry, or 1/3 of a stop. I really like that you can dial these into 1/10 of a stop, so if you want to nail f8 you can. So they're really nice there. So nice fast flash duration. Built-in receivers which build into this ecosystem of flashes that I have with radio triggers. I can control these with the speed lights and the 360 head that I've got as well. You're not putting these on camera, obviously. It wouldn't work, but they've been great. Now these will also do high speed sync, which will let you shoot past the sync speed of your camera. Typically that's 160th, 200th of a second, maybe 250th. And we'll get into that in later videos, but it's nice to be able to shoot wide open, say f1.4, f1.8, in the studio, still have the overhead lights on so people can see and not fall over stuff. And you can still not include that ambient light by cranking the shutter speed, and these will allow you to still synchronize with your camera. So that's a nice feature. So I have 3 of those, two 400s and a 600. Also, I have 3 of these. I did have 4, but one's died. Lenkata Smart Flash version 1s. These are 200 watt-second lights. Plastic. Build quality is not as good, but they did a real good turn in the first couple of years of running the studio. And these were used for the background lights for the white seamless. Problem is the flash duration's too long. So if someone moves during a set on white seamless, you get motion blur. You might have to end up rebuilding hands in Photoshop as a result, which is a pain in the ass and boring as hell to do. So I'd rather not. But they're there still as additional lights. The other light, the Lenkata 600 watt-second light here, this one can fit into the ecosystem of this trigger system by plugging in a little USB adapter. So it works on the same frequency. I can change the group. I can actually control the power on this. It doesn't have the same power range as these, i.e. I can't do 10 stops. So there's a bit of a compromise, but I usually set the power manually on this and just have this react as a trigger. So a bit more of a dumb trigger really. And it's been great. So 600 watt-seconds of power here, 2 600 heads, 2 400s, good to go, with 3 200 watt-second heads in reserve. Now, I've kept hold of the 200 watt-second heads, even though they're the weakest link in the kit, purely because they work with the 7-inch reflectors that I've got, not these ones, the ones that are fitted to those heads, and they will fit my grids. That's my 10 degree, 20, 30 and 40 degree set. These ones are slightly larger on the face of the reflector, so the opening within here needs a different grid set really. I've asked Pixapro to look into getting some in stock because they've only got like a 30 and a 40 degree. I'm like, guys, you need the full set, and if you get them in stock, I'll buy them because I love the grids. And that's pretty much it really for the lighting kit. So I'm building something that works as one whole system. So I have redundancy. My speed lights can play ball. My 360 portable light can play ball with these. They can control these. If my triggers get stolen, I run out of AA batteries, whatever happens. So it's nice to have a kit that all works together. And they will work with Canon, Nikon, Sony, Olympus, Panasonic, Fuji as well, because the Godox triggers or the Pixapro triggers, they have versions of these triggers or the ST3s that will work with other camera systems. So you can come into the studio if you rent it and use your version of the trigger for your camera system with these lights, no problem at all. And it's a nice system to have really for that, as well as for the group events and for the workshops also. So more than happy with them. I will eventually add a couple more of these, may go for the Keynote 2s with the built-in receivers, so they're not the fast flash duration ones. We'll see what the funds are like at the time, but I'm not hurting for lights certainly at the moment. I have plenty to go at right now, and I can borrow off other people if I need to for a larger location job as well. So this is everything within the studio in terms of the lights, and what we will do in the next video, we'll have a look at the stands, grip, modifiers, and I'll probably literally just walk you around the studio because I'm not going to fit everything on set and have everything set up. It's just not practical. So we'll have a look at a couple of things, free walking around the studio in the next video. That will be coming in the next week or so. In the meantime, if you've got any questions at all on monoblock studio lights, studio lighting in general, maybe you're starting your first studio, building out a room at home, maybe a garage, drop them in the comments below and I'll do what I can to help you. Until the next video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Right, I'm gonna put all this light away now. 1 light, 2, 3, that's enough of that. Right, so let's stop the camera. Flash. Is he rubbing in a mouth?